So the iPhone 14 Pro is here, and it is supposed to have the biggest camera upgrade like ever. And now, is it just me? Am I the one tripping? Or did Apple legit talk up everything else but the iPhone 14 Pro's camera? For real, is it me? Am I tripping? Look at this, just clothes everywhere. All right, now, not for nothing though, that Apple event kind of felt a little long. Like, was it just me? Like, just seemed to just kind of drag along. Like, come on, Apple. And then it also kind of seemed like the energy was like very forced. But I mean, but what do I know? I ain't making this stuff, so what do I know? I'm just a boss. And overall, the event was pretty good. Now look, y'all already know I ain't trying to be a hater or nothing. But yeah, the Apple event just seemed a little like the energy was off a bit. And I don't know what it was, whether they were like exhausted or they just weren't really into it. But yeah, it just felt kind of like forced. And now I do know what I'm mostly excited about, but the Apple Watch was pretty dope too as well. I mean, I ain't even gonna hate, I ain't even gonna lie. Speaking of Apple Watches, I totally forgot. Look, you can see the tan that I have from my... All right, so I was gonna do this entire video like walking around like I usually do, but pimping, it's about to rain. So unfortunately, I think we're gonna have to find a place and post up, cause y'all know how thugs do, and get to talking about this Apple event. And not so much the event, but y'all already know that we gotta talk about the drip. Like, we gotta talk about it. But man, I'm not even gonna lie, there was one thing that really like, Apple, like, what y'all doing to me, man? Like, I thought we already had this conversation, but I guess y'all didn't get the message, so I'm gonna have to make a house call. This is the kind of weather I like, it is perfect. All right, pimpin', how we looking, pimpin'? So the iPhone 14. We got the regular 14 and we got the 14 Pros hugging the block. And the biggest question is, should you cop one of the new iPhone 14? And also, if you already have an iPhone, especially like the 13, should you upgrade to the 14 or 14 Pro? Because let's be real, pimpin', just like me, I know y'all thinking about it. Oh snap, here come my coffee, here it come. Thank you all. Now, don't forget, if you want to buy me a coffee, pimp, and don't be shy, the link is down below. And if not, no tea, no shade. Y'all already know I ain't a hater, and my hood will never let me be a hater. So should you cop one of the new iPhones? Well, one of the first things to consider is the price. And pimpin', I am proud to say that all the prices for the iPhone 14s as well as the iPhone Pros, we got to zoom in on the face on this one, will be exactly the same as last year's 13 release. Come on, now pimpin', come on, tell me that's not gangster. Ooh man, not for nothing, it's a little chilly. And now don't get it twisted. Just because I'm putting on a jacket don't mean I ain't a thug. All right, so now that I got my jacket on and we know that all the iPhones are staying the same price, will it be worth the upgrade? Well, pimpin', I will have to say, start off with the regular iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Plus. A couple of things that you are seeing an upgrade to the regular iPhone 14 models are a huge bump up in battery life, a brighter display, and that's for you when you out hugging the block in those sunny days, you won't be struggling to see the screen. So I do think a brighter display is a plus. Next, you are also seeing a bump up in low light capability. And now to be real, I'm not so sure if this is concerning video, but I know it is for photos. And then I would say the next big upgrade would have to be the new action mode. And I'm not gonna lie, the new action mode it's cool, but it's a bit weird because I could have swore that Apple released like an article in the past basically encouraging people not to use their iPhones as action cameras, which makes sense because you can ruin the autofocus as well as this in-body stabilization. Because unlike action cameras, cell phones have motors in them, like moving parts for like things like autofocus. And pimping, the last thing you want to do is ruin like the autofocus on yourself. So yeah, I do think that's a bit weird, but maybe at the same time they mean like don't put your camera on like cars and like things that vibrate, like heavy vibration stuff, you know? So in the promo, they were literally just like running and like floating. So yeah, I guess. And my overall thoughts about the action mode is that I'm guessing it's supposed to compete with action cameras, which in my opinion is, I don't think that's a good idea. But pimping, that's just me. Another thing that's new is satellite connectivity, which is cool, but I'm like, you know. And overall, the iPhone 14s are that's pretty much it. Like, they're basically the iPhone 13 Pros minus the camera. Like, that's basically what they are to me. But now with that said though, we gotta get to the sauce, and that is the iPhone 14 Pro. Pro. And like I mentioned earlier, before on the iPhone 14s, the prices of the iPhone 14 Pros will be the same as last year. Boss! Y'all can officially go out and make it rain with all that extra dough y'all saved. But yes, we are getting the same prices as the iPhone Pros last year, as well as like all the things that the iPhone 14 got: brighter screen, satellite connectivity, increasing battery life. We will also get all those things in the iPhone 14 Pros, but along with some extra gangsta features. Boss! First one being an extra gangsta brighter display. And man, I'm talking, this thing gonna be so bright, you could use it as a headlight, as well as an always on display, which is, I don't know why it took them forever to do this, but because it's been out a while, but now Apple's got it. And then the next one that's actually pretty dope has to be the dynamic island. And I know the name isn't that flattering, but when I was watching the Apple event, it actually looked pretty cool, like with all the animations and interaction stuff and like that. That's ball. And then lastly, we are getting a bigger camera, a 48 megapixel camera, which basically means that there is no way that you could take a bad photo, because Apple basically said there's no reason to hire a professional photographer. There's no more need for the Sony A7S III. And basically, if you're a creator, it's time to make money moves, because when it comes to content creating, you're gonna be bringing the sauce. Apple guaranteed. So what do I think? What did your boy Sky Money think about the new iPhone 14 and 14 Pro? Well, I already know that the 14 is a hard pass, because I already have the 13 Pro and there just seems to be no point. But when it comes to the iPhone 14 Pro, that's where I'm thinking about it. Like for real, I am thinking about copping one. There are just like two main reasons that I wouldn't. And one of them really gets under my skin. And don't get me wrong, I am a huge Apple fan. I've always have been, always gonna be one. But man, them not offering USB Type-C, like still kind of makes me feel some type of way. Like, you know, like, where my USB Type-C at? I'm tired of these lightning cables. Not only are they extremely slow, but they suck and they're stupid cheap. Like, I can't even tell you how many of these cables I have just lying around that don't work anymore. So that is the first big disappointment. And then as for the second one, like my second, and this is just something new that I just realized, is that although we are getting actually a really big bump up in camera quality, I don't think it's gonna make a big difference when it comes to shooting video. And now, Pimp, hear me out. But when I was watching the Apple event, I was watching it live, right? And they were just showing some of the sample footage that you can get from the new iPhone 14 Pro. Like, it didn't look that great. Like, for real, go back, watch it for yourself, and tell me if I'm lying, because it did not look like, yeah, it just didn't look great. Like, there's even one like tracking shot where they're going up like a mountain or something, and like you can see that it's a lot of artifacting going on and pixelation. Like, like, come on, man. And like, this is like the biggest camera upgrade in like years, and they just kind of glossed right over. Like, they legit talked more about the Apple Watch than the video features in the brand new iPhone 14. And side note, that Apple Watch though, it looks good, but man, that presentation was just dragging. I was so bored. Another thing that we are getting with the new cameras is 4K cinematic mode at 24 frames a second. And now that's really cool, but I would have also liked to be able to use cinematic mode being used with like the ultra wide lens. Having the option to use the ultra wide lens with cinematic mode would have been like, that just would have just dropped a hammer. But no tea, no shade, I ain't a hater. 4K cinematic mode is pretty solid. Just saw my wife. I didn't realize I was the only one sitting outside. Me and one other dude. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the new iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Pro. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to buy me a coffee, Pimp, and don't be shy, the link is down below. And if not, y'all already know I ain't a hater. My hood never let me be a hater. We are good Gucci. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the new iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Pros. I don't know if I'm gonna cop one. I'm still not sure. I might cop the Pro. And don't forget to let me know, what are your thoughts on the new iPhone 14s as well as the Pro models? Do you think they're worth copping? Do you think they're worth the upgrade? Or is it a big old fat pass? Let me know in the comments down below. Watch one of these videos over here, and I will see you in the next one.